Hi, this is the voice of Heidie Calero with another economic capsule on the Puerto Rico economy. This is Holy Week worldwide, so for those of you who are going to enjoy that respite, please meditate on what are your priorities, being with your family, and above all, what do you think we are going to go through in terms of our economic expectations. So we are going to cover today what has been the impact of COVID-19 on small businesses. Where Puerto Rico is participating or has been participating in a weekly sample survey that the U.S. Census has been engaging since April of 2020. So we have comparisons between Puerto Rico and the U.S. to know what has been their perceptions in terms of the impact of COVID-19. Don't forget, those of you who like our capsules, to give us a like and to subscribe in YouTube so that you keep receiving notifications. Well, let's look at this first graph. This is the overall effect as of March 17th or 2021, so it's relatively recent, regarding their perception on what has been the effect of COVID-19 on small businesses. US are the blue columns and Puerto Rico are the red columns. So in terms of a significantly large negative effect of COVID on their businesses, in Puerto Rico is 29%, and in terms of moderately negative in Puerto Rico was 50%. If we add these two categories, it has been significantly negative in 79% of all small businesses in Puerto Rico, according to this survey, weekly survey, compared to 73% in the US. So the overall negative impact of COVID in Puerto Rico has been significantly higher than in the US. Let's look at the financial assistance that has been available to small businesses. Thank you to the federal government, and that includes the payroll loans that have been well known as PPP, Triple P. And in Puerto Rico, 66% of small businesses received assistance of first PPP and the second PPP. Two of those loans have been given, and that's compared with 60% in the US. And in terms of forgiveness, 34%, at least of the first PPP loan in Puerto Rico have been condoned, have been forgiven, compared to 23% in the US. Another important finance help was the assistance through the loan, SBA loans for disaster loans, and that in Puerto Rico was 19% for small businesses compared to 10% in the US. 13% from government sources in Puerto Rico compared to half in the States, 6%, and then none, 21% of small businesses said they didn't receive any financial assistance compared to 43% in the US. This is important because were it not for this financial assistance, we would have seen more closures of these businesses, not only not returning to normal, but being closed permanently. Now let's look at another of the questions in the survey, and it's their expectations as of March 17, 2021. When do they expect to return to normal before COVID-19? And only 12% said that they expect to return to normal. 6.3% in Puerto Rico said they do not expect to return to normalcy. And 48.3% of these small businesses said that they expect returning to normal will take more than 6 months. That compares with a 38.7%. So expectations are more negative in Puerto Rico compared to the US. And then the others are 4 to 6 months, scarcely 17% in Puerto Rico, and 2 to 3 months, that's the immediate. Short term, scarcely only about 5% of small businesses expect a return to normalcy. So overall, negative, significantly negative effect in Puerto Rico, higher than in the US, and expectations that normalcy will return expected more than 6 months compared to the US. Now let's look at the trend of these expectations since April of 2020 to the last weekly sample that I have shown you before. And in this green line is all these weekly perceptions that Puerto Rico answered that they would expect to return to normal more than 6 months. And we averaged all this period, and it says that more than 50%, 53% expect that normalcy will take more than 6 months. And no return, just as interesting, almost 8% of these small businesses said no, they do not expect to return to normalcy. So it's interesting to see that the impact of COVID-19 has been significantly higher in Puerto Rico, and that the expectations are that the return to normalcy is going to take more than 6 months. Even though we do not have especially the NICs, the codes by economic sector or industry, we do have it by the state, so we are making the same parallel. And in the states it said that education, health services, entertainment, hospitality, all about hotel accommodations and restaurants, as well as other services, were badly hit compared to other sectors in the economy. So until the next capsule, stay safe and have a nice, happy Easter. Thank you.